Detroit Lions, who you have winning the division here, 20th toughest schedule, projected at 9.5 wins.
And they were 9-8 last year, and they should have been 10-7. They lost that last game for whatever reason. It was such a wonky game. So I have them winning the division at 10-7 this year. I think you lose Jamal Williams, but you draft Jahmyr Gibbs. They had a really good draft, probably the best draft in the entire NFL. But then you bring in on the defense, Mosley, Gardner Johnson. You bring in key players at key positions, specifically on defense,
Yep.
and the offense is still good. You have a stud at Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
You have good players, and Jared Goff is that guy. Like, he's been good. So they had the top 5 offense in the league last year.
Think
I don't
so.
see why that's going to change. And then they
Going
addressed
to be elite.
yeah, I mean, they were elite. The Lions offense, think about saying that. A Lions offense was elite last year. Their defense is the only thing they had to focus on, and they focused on it. And I expect the defense to be a hell of a lot better this year. So, yeah, I got them going 10-7, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won 11 games either. But they're going to win this division.
Yeah. Checking the NFL team total offense stats right here. Yeah, Detroit Lions had the 4th best offense in the league in terms of yard per games, 380. God damn, Kansas City with 414. Now, who had the most points? Detroit was 5th in the league with 26.6 points per game. So that's very impressive. To say that the Detroit Lions could have the coach of the year, they had an amazing draft, and their offense is elite, that's how you know the NFL is changing for the better. We're still in a stacked AFC versus a very lopsided NFC.
Yeah.
And hell, some people say Jared Goff is the 2nd best quarterback in the division. I'm not, or excuse me, in the NFC in the conference. Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't know. That's clear.
Right.
I don't know about
Very
that.
respectable. I love what he's done in Detroit, almost better than I like what he did with the Rams because of the fact that he faced that adversity. Yes, Stafford really, clearly went there, won the Super Bowl. That was the reason that, that apparently Jared Goff was gotten rid of. But I still respect what he's done.
You could argue that Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. Like, if you were to tell me if you could tell me he was some 4, 5, or 6, I would be okay with that. And
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and the Lions, there are 8 teams make the playoffs in each conference. You're not going to sit there and tell me that the Lions aren't one of the best 8 teams in the NFC. So, I'm not saying that they're
7. No.
7 teams make the playoffs. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 divisions and the 3 wild cards.
Right.
But even still, even if you're that 8th team, like, you're going to be close. So, you're always going to be in that team picture. So, yeah, fine, 7 teams. You're not going to sit there and get to team 5 and 6 and 7 and tell me the Lions ain't one of them. So,
right. I mean, I would say if I'm just thinking about, top quarterbacks in the NFC, clearly Jalen won. I'm sure you'd have Dak and possibly Derek Carr up there. And then, you got Geno, and, probably Goff is coming in behind it. I'd probably put Goff over Geno, just because of more consistent play and what he's done overall as a player. Geno Smith had one big year. Not trying to super get into it, but I'm just agree that, yes, Jared Goff is, a little underrated. And that offense he's running over there in Detroit is pretty damn impressive. I do have them going 7-10 overall, 4-4 going into the Week 9 bye week. Let me back up a little bit. 6-2 at home, 1-8 on the road, so an overall record of 7-10. Going to take that under on the projected 9.5 wins. Again, 4-4 going into the Week 9 bye week, which is well placed in the middle of the season. Again, I love late season or middle of the season bye weeks. Get healthy, heal up, do what you got to do. I like the coaching of Dan Campbell here. I think they're going to split the division as well. They've got 8 games against playoff teams, but I got them going 2-6 in these games. Minnesota twice, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, the Chargers, Dallas, Baltimore, and Seattle. The only wins are one of the splits of Minnesota and then beating Tampa Bay as well. Can't remember if that's on the road or at home. But, the biggest thing is the Lions are having a ton of hype around them after the draft. And I feel like they made some decent additions with a lot of the folks, like you said, CGJ and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Cameron Sutton from the Steelers. You drafted Emmanuel Mosley. And for the worst rated defense in the NFL last year, literally dead last, you lose Jamal Williams and DJ Chark, but you do replenish some. So overall, with them being 7-10, with them going 9-8 last year, I believe, like you said, it's going to be a little bit of a tail off. Yes, they definitely have that capability to get better. But again, when I'm straight up looking at the schedule, when I'm seeing how the division is going to play out, I do have them going 7-10 overall. So crazy enough, not even to have a hot take, I have the Chicago Bears winning this division at 8-9. Wow. Yeah, it's going to be the battle of mid for sure. Vikings will get second place at 7-10. Maybe the Vikings and Lions are going to flip-flop, of course, because they're both at 7-10. And then I have the Packers at 5-12. I think you might have had it the exact opposite, which is pretty funny, of course. I know you had the Lions at the very top winning the division. But this is going to be an interesting division to watch. And this is why I like doing actual record predictions. So we can sit here and say, oh, they're they're going to win 14 games. Just look at the players and the coaching that they have. And I'm like, are you looking at who they're playing on the road? Are you looking at who they're playing in, at home? What part of the season is it in? Is it before or after the bye week? Like that stuff
Mhm.
matters to me because we know like Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, they're probably going to look like shit for September and October. And then they're
Yeah.
probably going to come around in November and December, maybe a little bit, and we'll see what happens as playoff pushes happen. But yes, there you have it. The 2023 NFC North record predictions on episode 35 of the NFL with AJL.